Shalom, this is the new Yeshua Israel Hebrew on Island 2. Today's video is called Why Your Family and Friends Have Biblical Amnesia. Now, it's the same reason why our people in the past and today still suffer from biblical amnesia. They have done the same abominable things in the past as they do today. Just turn on the internet, the news, tell me if I'm lying. They violate the Most High's law on the regular and desire above all to love and live as the heathens, which the Most High abhors. I'm going to give you an example, a quick example of how abominable our people was. And a lot of Hebrews don't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it today because this is one of the reasons why we have biblical amnesia. Because when we make the Most High is so angry with us, he's going to do terrible things to us, like make us forget who we are, make the other people forget who we are, even though he made us the kings and princes and princesses for the women above all other people on the earth. He made the earth for our sake. He's going to make you forget that. He's going to make them forget that. Then that's when you have Ecclesiastes 10 verse 7. You see the servant riding upon the horses and the prince walking. That's the amnesia that's going on. Because we don't want to listen to the Lord. We don't want to listen to the instructions of the Most High. We want to do as the heathens do. Here is Judges 19. It's an awful thing to even read. But hey, it's good to know it. So when you see it, if you see any signs of that coming from our people, shout with a loud voice the abomination of it all to them, whether they hear it or forbear it, because we got to come out of these curses. Judges 19. It's about the Levite and his concubine. So that's the Levite priest. For you people that don't think, oh, men only gonna have one wife and stuff, forget about that New Testament. There's nothing new under the sun. The Most High hasn't changed. There's no law that a Hebrew man, a righteous Hebrew man, can have concubines, can have second, third wives or whatever. But he has to do it in righteousness. And this is showing you not just a regular Hebrew man, it's showing you a Levitical priest. He had a concubine. You find that in Judges 19. And I'm not reading Judges 19 for that. I'm reading because you're going to find something really bad within Judges 19 that reflect how, and one of the reasons why the nation of Israel has an amnesia. Remember, I'm going to start at verse 11, so I'm giving you a quick summation of from 1 to 11. It's about the Levite priest and his concubine. His concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house. He then went after her to get her and bring her back. He stayed there for a little time with her father at the father's request to stay, eat, socialize, and since it was a long journey, just to stay and rest for a little bit, and that's what he did. But then he decided, he has to leave. It's time to leave. Then he left his father's house with his servant and his concubine, who he retrieved, who left him. Now I want to start Judges chapter 19, verse 11. And when they were by Jebus, remember they're traveling on a road, and when they were by Jebus, the day was far spent, and the servant said unto his master, which was the Levite priest, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites and lodge in it. Verse 12 of Judges 19. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. See, they know about we need to separate from the enemies. We're not supposed to be dealing with the enemy in that manner. We will pass over to Gibeah. Verse 14 of Judges 19. And they passed on and they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah. which belongeth to the Benjamites. See, he didn't want to lodge with heathens. He knew about his Lord that it's like oil and water. We have to separate from them. But something still happened by him even going to his people's city. Because still today, like back then, you have wicked Negroes, wicked Israelites, wicked Aboriginal Native Americans. You have them amongst us. I'm so happy that the end is coming near, where we're going to be rid of the wicked Israelites. Backbiting, torturous, conniving, demonic, abominable brethren who's amongst us, who has brought us down and keeping us down and keeping us in this captive state, oppressive state that we're in because of their desire to live as the heathens, which is abominable. Verse 20 of Judges 19. And the old man said, they found an old man on the street because they couldn't find no place to give them lodging. And so they met this old man in verse 20, and the old man said, Peace be with thee. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lodge not in the streets, because they didn't find a place. They were going to be sleeping in the streets. And he was telling them no. Verse 21 of Judges 19. So he brought him into his house and gave provenders unto his asses, the donkeys, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Verse 22 of Judges 19. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men in the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. Now, Hebrew Israelite. That's the same scene in Sodom and Gomorrah. But this is in the Benjamite town of Gibeah. Gibeah. The sons of Belial. And when I looked at the sons of Belial in the Hebrew, it was H1100, which means worthlessness, good for nothing, unprofitable, base fellows, wicked niggers. And I'm adding that, which we have today. Wicked niggers, wicked Negroes, Israelites. Don't be offended by that, because Israelites, we are not niggers or Negroes. We are the kings and priests upon this earth, rulers of this earth. And it will come to pass, and you will see it when the end of days comes, which we're living in those times now. Verse 22 of Judges 19. So this Levite priest didn't go in the stranger's city because of his culture. He knows to separate. He went into his brethren's city. And look what they did to them. Let me read that again. So he brought him into his house and gave him preventures unto his asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Verse 22 of Judges 19. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, which were the Benjamites, certain sons of Belial, worthless Negroes, devilish Negroes that we have still today, beset the house round about and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. They're really saying so we can have sex with him. Abominable. Israelites are abominable. And that's what's brought us down. Remember, all our major prophets, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, all of them had to go into, Daniel had to go into captivities. Not because of them, they were righteous, but for wicked niggers around them. We still have that same problem today. Amnesia, not knowing how we're supposed to act because who we were made to be by the Most High, how, which are the kings, priests, rulers, servants of the Most High on the earth only. Verse 23 of Judges 19. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into my house, do not this folly. Verse 24 of Judges 19. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile things. They wanted to do homosexual acts on this Levite priest, the Benjamites, the Israelites, demons. The beta males on this flat earth are the Caucasians and all the rest of the heathens. That's their lifestyle. But guess what? Israel, some of them, they just love to act like white people, Caucasians, because they're not white. White is the shirt I'm wearing. They're pale-faced. They want to live like the heathens, act like the heathens, take on their demonic ways. Which one of them is homosexuality. You got a lot. They're turning our men out like crazy. Because guess what? If to them, if the Negro man, aka true physical Israelite, is a homosexual, he's less threatening. Putting it in the water, they got transgender frogs. I put that in one of my other videos. Poisoning the water with these chemicals that make male frogs want to be female frogs and can actually lay eggs. It's craziness. Verse 25 of Judges 19. But the man would not hearken to him. So the men would not hearken to the old man. So the man took his concubine, the Levite priest. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Note, Israelite, look at these niggas. I don't care if some of you get offended. You don't get offended when you listen to that rap music. These are wicked Negroes. I only love law-abiding Israelites. I look at non-law-keeper Israelites and heathens just as vile. I look at them the same, vile animals. And those Benjamites in that Gibeah town, how they treated their brother who was a priest, they wanted to have homosexual relations with him by force. Vile Israelites. So you have the crime that occurred in Judges 19, attempted homosexual rape and attempted home invasion, violation of Moses' civil law on how Israelites need to treat and act towards Israelites. These are Negroes, excuse me, wicked to the core. And that's our problem today. We still have them. And those Negroes have full-blown amnesia. They don't know who they are. That's why they're acting like the heathens and demonic. Deuteronomy 32, 16 to 27. Deuteronomy 32, 16 to 27. They provoke him to jealousy with strange gods. This is why a lot of our people, the Negro Christians, the Messianic Hebrews, the straight up heathen Negroes that just live like the Romans, this is what they've done to the Most High, and this is the cause of our people's current day amnesia. Deuteronomy 32 verses 16 to 27. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Elohim, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came up newly, whom your fathers feared not. Verse 18 of Deuteronomy 32. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful and hast forgotten Elohim that formed thee. Verse 19 of Deuteronomy 32. And when the Most High showed it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a forward generation, children in whom there is no faith. We have faithless Negroes, faithless Israelites with amnesia. Verse 21 of Deuteronomy 32. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not Elohim. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. See, the Most High follows his own laws with no hypocrisy. Because when you read Exodus 21, it says an eye for an eye, a life for a life. And now we have jealousy for jealousy. And have these demon cave Caucasian sulfur devils the Most High has made as vanity less than nothing to be over us and to oppress us daily. Don't you see it on the news? I see it. Do you see it? I hate wicked niggas. Oops, wicked Israelites. This is what he says in Deuteronomy 32:23. I will heap mischief upon them. I will spin mine arrows upon them. He's doing this to the Israelites. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hair. Verse 26 of Deuteronomy 32. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would the remembrance of them to cease from amongst men. That's why you have amnesia. That's why most of the Israelites don't know that they are the Israelites. They think they're niggers, Negroes, blacks, African Americans, whatever, Moors, whatever they want to think, is Islamic people. And the heathens, they definitely don't know. They think that we are niggers and Negroes, African Americans, porch monkeys, etc. But, I have faith in this coming near. This trading places coming soon to an earth near you. This is why the heathen world doesn't know who we really are. And many of our people who are still sacrificing unto devils, aka heathen religions, secret societies, secular world, heathen thinking and behavior. Many and most of them will not make it and awake or recover from their biblical amnesia. Just look around you. Tell me if I'm not lying. But knowing this, try to tell them and live a righteous life in front of them to be the best Israelite, law keeper that you can daily. But at the end of the day, it's only boiling down to this. Come me to Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. I'm going to bring it to a close. Ezekiel chapter 14, verses 13 and 14. That's what it says. This is how it reads. Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Verse 14 of Ezekiel 14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, says Howell. So at the end of the day, you can only help yourself, Israelite. Try to help them. But if they persist to stay in their amnesia state, loving above all the ways of America and Europe, the ancient Romans and Greeks, homosexuality, paganism, leave them alone to their own devices. Let them skate right off the high cliffs alone. Amnesia is a terrible thing. Avoid it at all costs. This is a new Yeshurun Israel, a Hebrew on the island too. Until next time, Shalom.